What's up, everybody, man? Back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we are going to be checking out and reviewing the new Drownviper from Playmates from the new Godzilla Kong the New Empire wave. Yeah, that's right, Playmates has a new wave of Godzilla Kong the New Empire figures. This is like, what, wave 2.5-ish? It's kind of an extension of wave 2, which features Kong with the axe, which I don't have. It features One Eye, it features Tiamat, which we've checked out and reviewed, and actually like some bigger figures that I've now started to see pop up, including the real feel Godzilla and Kong. I've never seen those, but I have seen like a punching power Kong. That was kind of cute. If I come across it again, I'll have to grab it. But for now, this was like one where I was like, I'm not gonna pass this one up because I don't have any other version of it. This is just so neat. This is the Drownviper from Godzilla Kong the New Empire, which is giving me hope we are one step closer, fingers crossed, to a Scylla. Come on, we're getting there, we're getting there. And then maybe we don't stop there, maybe we go for it, we give us a behemoth maybe, that'd be pretty cool. My Drownviper's head has already started to escape the packaging, revealing just how much mobility this figure is gonna have, just like the Tiamat. Very freaking cool. Yeah, this is the Drownviper from Godzilla Kong the New Empire, the enormous serpent, which, if I'm not mistaken, is at the moment our largest titan in the MonsterVerse, technically, in terms of overall length. This thing is absolutely enormous. I'm pretty sure it dwarfs Tiamat, and Kong takes him out pretty freaking quick too, although he does have the axe. But this is a pretty enormous titan, although size doesn't exactly equate to power. I don't think this is one of the strongest titans in the MonsterVerse by any means, but it's just so freaking huge that I think it could swallow a Muto whole. A little male Muto, if this thing could catch it, I think it could eat it. I'm so glad they did it because it does not have much screen time in New Empire, so it was pretty sick to see this thing on the shelves, and it was a nice surprise to stumble across this in the wild, not really knowing that it existed, so that was pretty awesome. Starting out as usual, love the Godzilla Kong the New Empire boxes. They look really nice. Love the purple as always. On the back, you've got the Drownviper looking pretty sick, and then you do have the new wave of Godzilla Kong New Empire figures. Oh, the Energized Godzilla. That's the other character in this line. What a waste. That one sucked. I'm gonna have to look for these real feel ones. That sounds fun. This is fully posable and has a removable head. Oh, that's neat. That's also brutal. Kong does decapitate this thing, so that's a crazy one to give it. But I kind of like that. That's a nice way to do like battle damage, even though this isn't a battle damaged figure. I like the idea behind that one. At least this is a figure who deserves some battle damage. The Drownviper's bio is beware hollow earth lagoons, or prepare to be ambushed by the savage serpentine Drownviper, capable of crushing constriction and jaw-dropping intense bite force. Hell yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Suko, you are such a jerk for this one for real. Oh, dude, this is sick. Look how big it is. I did not expect them to have this much length to it. That is so cool, although you can't really straighten it all the way. It's gonna have these like weird bends in it. I don't really know if there's that much of a better way to go about this, but look at the length on this thing. That's pretty cool. This might be the longest pose it can get in. Let's see. Dang, this is definitely the longest, supposedly, what, we're in the 6-inch scale right now? This is a 21-inch figure. That is crazy. A 21-inch figure right here. And the head is supposedly removable, comes right out nice and easy. It's just a little ball joint, so it's not that big of a deal. You can cut the head off just like Kong does. That's cute that that's the gimmick they gave it. It's also like, it's a ball joint. I'm pretty sure you could probably, yeah, you could probably take this whole thing apart into pieces. So that's funny that they advertise it as like removable head, like that's the gimmick. Yeah, no duh, it's a ball joint. Technically speaking, you could do that with any ball joint. Why aren't you advertising removable butt as well? And for every Godzilla figure from now on, you can advertise removable tail. I think it's cool. When you line up all of the stomach pieces so that you can see what this thing is kind of intentionally looking like, you wind up with this circular pose. It also lines up the back spines as well by lining up the stomach, and you get this pose for the Drownviper, where it looks pretty menacing and pretty scary, and I love it, because this is exactly the iconic pose it strikes in the movie Godzilla Kong the New Empire. This is the iconic Drownviper pose right here, so what a cool base sculpt for this thing to sit in. Obviously, you're not really gonna pose pose it like that. Like, I would probably pose it with the head up a little more, with the body coiled a little more, something like this, you know, but that's a cool base pose. And just like with the Tiamat, look at how mobile this guy is. Really able to just wiggle and waggle like a good snake toy should. That is so awesome. I love snakes. I love serpents. I think that this was just such a cool addition to the MonsterVerse, and I'm so freaking glad they made a figure of it. The sculpt turned out really, really well on this thing. The face is really well sculpted. I love that it's got details like this eyebrow. It's got these gills right under the eye. The eye itself looks pretty good. The teeth are actually sculpted on individually, which look really great. The tongue's looking really cool as well. There's a really nice skin texture going all the way down. It's got the great ridging running underneath its head and on its belly. The really nice sectioned out ridges, kind of like on the bottom of Godzilla's tail, or, you know, on the bottom of a real snake. It's got those great sections going all the way down. It's got this really nice muscle detail on the side right here where you can actually see like the muscle itself folding in. That looks really awesome, and you can see there's one on the top as well. This is a really fantastically sculpted figure. Up near the head, it's got these two divots in. It's got one on each side, and they both look a little different from each other. I think they're supposed to represent like battle damage that the Drownviper has, and they actually are matching up to the movie. In Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, the Drownviper does have these two scratches on its head. I'm pretty sure these are supposed to represent that the creature's old and it's been in some battle damage, especially because you can kind of see here, there's some scratching on the right side of its neck. The back frill looks fantastic all the way down with the really nice protruding parts and a really nice texture inside of that. It's got really good wrinkles. It eventually gets down to a point where they are individual, going down individual spikes, just like in the movie. This is a fantastic realization of the Drownviper from the film, clearly based on the same CGI model. And then the tip of the tail is looking really fantastic, kind of Manda-esque with that nice fishtail kind of thing. I don't know. Playmates is absolutely leveling up and stepping up their game. It's been really nice to watch them evolve over the past few years. They started kind of rough in 2021, and nowadays I think these are really fantastic. This is a fantastic figure. The paint job itself does a really wonderful job capturing the overall general aesthetic of the Drownviper from Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. The eyes being yellow looks really good with the very pronounced black pupil, although I'm pretty sure the one in New Empire might be a little more blue, but overall looks great. It's got really nice gums and a nice pink tongue with very cool white teeth that are a different color than the white on the underbelly. The white on the underbelly is kind of this almost grayish blue. It looks really good. The blue they've picked for the back is a really nice color because it does capture the sort of blue to purple gradient that the actual Drownviper in the movie has. This is a nice middle ground where it's not quite too dark of blue, but it's also not overly purple. I think it looks really good. And then they do have the yellow stripes going all throughout this creature, looking really awesome as well. As for articulation, obviously this is a really, really cool figure with a lot of motion. It's so neat. There are 8 points of articulation, including the mouth, and as it advertises, you can pop this thing apart and then it goes together very easily as well. I'm really impressed with it. It's got as much range of motion as I think you could possibly hope for in a figure that only costed $10. That's the best part of it. It was only $10. The Drownviper absolutely dwarfs little Suko. If I want to stretch it out, you could just see the poor dude. He's not even the size of the bottom part of its tail. This poor dude is getting munched for sure. That seems like close to in scale as well. Kong looks like he'd fare a little better with the Drownviper, and obviously we know he at least stands up to it pretty well. And I would say this does look like it's pretty much to scale from the movie as well, with Kong being absolutely dwarfed by the overall size and stature of the Drownviper. This is a fantastic matchup here. And just like how I was able to do with Godzilla and Tiamat, you can wrap Kong up in the Drownviper as well, though here the Drownviper like takes over Kong. This poor dude is getting really constricted by this thing. If Godzilla wasn't so overpowered, it'd be pretty fun to watch him take on the Drownviper. Here they are squaring off. Godzilla does look like he would fare much better against this creature. Even if it wraps Godzilla up, I still think he's gonna do pretty well against it. This is awesome, man. I would love to see this fight, especially if they allowed Godzilla to be in a fight that goes on for more than a couple seconds. That'd be pretty sick. This thing proves my theory wrong that the Warbat just doesn't simply have the body structure for a cooler figure than the one we got back in 2021. Although I really like the Warbat's pose, and I think they did a fairly good job given the kind of stuff they were putting out back in the day. It's just in every single regard, Playmates has leveled up. The sculpt is better. It's got way more detail. There is so much more going on with it. It's way larger. It's got way more articulation. It's got a much stronger paint job than the old Warbat, so I'm glad to see Playmates is leveling up. And again, you can just see see that poor little Warbat is just getting dwarfed by the Drownviper, just tiny compared to it. Our best shot is Tiamat, who's also, even when extended to full length, pretty dang small compared to the Drownviper. This would be an awesome matchup. I do think Tiamat would be able to take the Drownviper, even though she's so much smaller. She's just got a lot of fighting skill. Not that you'd know from watching New Empire, but there they are next to each other, looking pretty awesome. Playmates has absolutely leveled up their Serpent Titans. This is so freaking cool, man. With an awesome sculpt that captures so many of the wonderful little details from the Drownviper in the movie Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, a really cool paint job that I think does as well as it could for this figure market. I think this is as good of a paint job as you could hope for with this figure. And a really strong articulation. This Drownviper is happily going to earn the second 10 out of 10 for a Playmates figure. I think they did a really good job with this thing. It looks fantastic. I'm really impressed with Playmates' work recently, and this is a really awesome figure. Do you have the Playmates Drownviper? If so, tell me what you think of it down below, and what was your thoughts of the Drownviper in the movie Godzilla Kong: The New Empire? I think it's absolutely awesome, even if it does only have a couple seconds of screen time. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to make videos like this for you in the first place. Because of the support I get over there, I can buy figures like this to review with you all. If you want to check out the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.